I'm happy with my career.
Yeah.
Happy what I've done, done the things that I wanted to do. Obviously played for England, played one game, scored one goal. That's something I want to do.
Welcome to the Football Stage, your ultimate destination for everything football. From untold stories to rising stars, we cover it all. Stay tuned and step onto the football stage with us.
Dan, welcome to the Football Stage podcast. You have the honour of being the first guest, you know that.
Thanks for the invitation, mate.
You're welcome. To be honest, I don't think there's any person better fitting to be the first guest on here, even though we're going to be talking about football in your life. This kind of interview for me is very personal, right? Because I look back, we both come from the same area. We've known each other for about 50 years or so now, isn't it?
Coming very close.
And I look back on my own inspiration when I was younger, when I wanted to play football, and it was all because of what you achieved, you know? But this is all about you today, Dan. So let's try and reintroduce you back into the current world, let people know who you are. So let's go through your life a little bit. Let's go straight to your football career first. Let's talk about that.
Do you want to? No, I can't. Okay.
We'll go on that, and then we'll talk about the life in Deptford, because that's something I'd like to talk about. But I look at it, and I look at it straight away, and you know, you made your debut at 16.
Yeah.
You wasn't even a pro at the time, which is a rare feat in football itself. You were the youngest person to get selected for Southampton until Theo Walcott came along and broke that record for you.
That's right.
You know, you signed pro 2 years later after making your debut. Goal of the season, and we are going to talk about that goal.
Yeah.
You got your big move to Man U, which was again a record fee for Southampton at the time at 1.2 million. You also hold the record with your brothers Rod and Ray for being the first three brothers to play in top flight football. FA Cup winner, Cup Winners' Cup winner. So it's a pretty good football career, you know.
Not bad.
It's not bad at all. Let's talk about South London. Let's talk about Deptford. Let's talk about where it all started for you. Where did football start for you? Because obviously it wasn't when you signed pro.
No. To tell you the truth, I was interested in football from about the age of 6 in the 1970s. I think it was the World Cup was on around that time.
Mm.
And, you know, watching the World Cup really got me liking the game, you know.
Mm.
I can remember my old man going out and getting a colour TV to watch the final in colour.
Because it was all black and white before then.
It was all black and white, man. It's all black and white. So to watch the game in colour was unbelievable. You had the players like Pele and Jarzinho, who was my favourite player.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like him. And, you know, just watching those Brazilian players, you know, play on the pitch and to see them do all the skills and score the goals and just be brilliant. That really got me interested in becoming a footballer.
So you got the influences from watching TV, seeing other pros. Then how did that progress into getting into, for example, with Southampton? Because obviously we've got teams like Millwall and Charlton that were on your doorstep, but you ended up signing for Southampton. I did have a couple of trials with Arsenal and Millwall. But tell you the truth, I didn't really want to be here in London trying to get my career going, you know. So it was a conscious decision to go outside?
Yeah, well, obviously when Southampton signed me at schoolboy levels, I knew that this was the place I wanted to be. That was the place I wanted to be. So we just decided to go far. It was only an hour and a half away, so you know, I could start my career at Southampton.
Yeah. You mentioned your dad. May he rest in peace, Mr. Wallace.
Yeah.
What impact would you say your parents had on you? Because you and I have very similar sort of upbringings in terms of Jamaican heritage.
Yeah.
You know, we lived on the streets in Deptford. You know, we grew up in the 70s and the 80s in that sort of time. So with your parents, did they have any influence on you from a playing perspective?
Not really. I mean, obviously they were happy that I was going in the way I was going, but in them days, Pete, you know, you didn't have, my mum and dad didn't have the amenities to get me to games.
Yeah.
So it's hard on them, like, but obviously they were, you know, very proud and they wanted me to do what I wanted to do, like, you know. It was hard. And mum and dad tried it as hard as they could.
Mm.
And
but they were supportive.
Yeah, definitely. And
we didn't have cars back then. There was no cars.
Well, my dad had one, like mini minor, Morris Minor, I think it was.
But we were on public transport for everything, weren't we?
Yeah, everything.
Or walking.
And we've done a lot of that. We've done a lot of walking, mate.
Yeah.
But mum and dad, you know, they tried their hardest, and as I said before, like, they were very proud of us.
Yeah. I can remember when we were growing up, we used to, we had all the different flats, and we would play against each other. We'd play against the villains in Gilbert House.
Yeah.
And it would be Benbow, Oxenham, and was the other one?
Hughes House. Hughes House, yeah.
And we would just go on the park and just play until it was dark.
Yeah.
And it was all ages.
Didn't matter who.
Didn't matter. Yeah. All smashing into each other.
Yeah. It was fantastic days.
Do you think those kind of games that we played in the parks gave you a bit of character, gave you a bit of strength in terms of what you need to be a professional these days?
You know what? I don't really know. As I look back, Pete, I can't even remember how I played. If you know what I mean. I didn't even know I was really good.
Really?
I just love
playing football.
Playing football.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, you know, I was 11, 12 that I really, really thought about becoming a professional footballer.
Mm.
But everyone was talking about me when we was in school, before I got to school, actually. And
you were a big name at that time, Dan. You know, you were the one guy in our area that was you were tangible. It was everyone knew who you were, everyone knew your family, and everyone knew that you were on the road to going places.
Yeah, I mean, as I look back, I just think to myself, how good was I? Like, you know what I mean? Because I can't remember how good I was. I knew I was good, but I don't know how to explain it.
How often did you train and practice? You know, doing stuff on your own.
All the time.
Yeah,
all the time. I think you can remember the full court down in our
the bottom of the
flats.
Yeah.
I used to kick the ball all the time, up against the wall, trying. Yeah, all the time, and you know, trying to control it, run with the ball, dribbling the ball. I wanted to be like Jorginho, the way he played, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
floated on the pitches, like, and taking on all the defenders and scoring goals, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be him.
I've coached grassroots for 8 years, and one of the things I've noticed with a lot of the young kids is they just don't practice enough. They don't touch the ball enough. You know, they could go from 1 week to another and they've not played at all. They'll come to a training session, play a match, but they haven't touched the ball the whole week. And as you've clearly displayed, you were daily.
I was always at it. Always at it, P.
Yeah.
I was always running with the ball. I was always kicking the ball up against the wall. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah. So let's fast forward to you making your debut, Dan.
All right.
Coming on for Southampton. Now tell the truth, were you shitting it when you were coming on?
When I was coming on, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But the best thing was, like, the manager didn't tell me until it was like half an hour before the game.
Oh wow.
So it was all crazy. I can remember in the dressing rooms at Southampton, and it was a Friday, obviously, and I saw my name on the players list, and I was so surprised. Oh, I didn't know what, you know, why am I going up to Manchester?
Yeah.
One of the coaches just said to me, like, you're going up for the experience. You're going to go up and just see how the professionals play and go up, and just for you to go out there and have a look, like, you know. So I'm thinking I'm just there to, you know, sort the players out.
Part of the furniture.
Yeah. And just be there to look after the players.
Yeah.
I never in my wildest dreams thought that, you know, on Saturday I'll be playing in the first division game at such a young age, like, you know.
And at Old Trafford.
And at Old
against
Trafford.
Man U.
And against Man U.
And who did you come on for?
I didn't. I started.
You started the game?
I started the game, yeah. Played all the game.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. Kevin Keegan was injured at the time. So
you effectively replacing Kevin Keegan?
One of the best players in England at the time, like, you know. And to wear his shirt, frightening.
Yeah.
Absolutely frightening. But the manager had done well for me. He didn't tell me until it was really late. I didn't have enough time to be scared, like, you know. I can honestly say I can't remember a bit about the game. Seriously.
What I do remember is I remember in my house, we all knew you were playing and we were all waiting up late.
Oh, right.
For Match of the Day to come on.
Yeah.
So we're all gathered around the 14-inch black and white TV. And I can remember you coming on and you had your sheepskin. Because that shit was in there, wasn't it?
That was, yeah.
You had your sheepskin on. And the biggest thing that came out of that interview was when you referred to Laurie McMillan.
Laurie, yeah.
As Laurie, instead of boss.
Oh, yeah. No, he gave me a little elbow there. But I shouldn't have said it. It was a bit out of order, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that was a big day. Massive moment for you.
Yeah.
But I think it was a massive moment for, you know, all of us that lived around that area, seeing you finally reach that milestone. It was great for the people of Deptford.
Fantastic for me as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic for me. Because, I mean, I never thought that, you know, I'll be playing professional football like so early. I was still waiting.
Did you think, though, Dan, that at some stage, did you not think, I know I'm good enough. I know I'm good enough to go pro?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
You're being humble now.
Yeah, I think I am. I knew at that time, 16, I knew that I was good enough to you know, be able to hold my own in that kind of environment, like, yeah. Because I don't even think I played in the reserve games for Southampton at the time. It was all the youth team, and I knew I was able to do that.
Yeah. I think we should give a little mention to Southampton because obviously they're the club that gave you your debut. Yeah. But Southampton have always been known for blood and talent. You look at the young players that have come through early and got in the first team. There's obviously the likes of yourself, brother Rod, Ray, you know, Letitia, Shearer. And then you've got players like Gareth Bale and Luke Shaw and Theo Walcott later on. So,
and even before me, like, you had Steve Williams and Steve Moran.
Yeah.
Some really, really good players.
Yeah. Does the club hold you in high esteem?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't been back to the club for a while, but every time I go back, like, they look after me.
Yeah.
Southampton was such a lovely, lovely place to build my career, like, you know.
Yeah.
Really friendly, fantastic crowds. And
I enjoyed the weekends down there. We had
some good ones. Yeah, we had some good ones. We had some good nights out there. But yeah, I think Southampton, they're a small club, but very, very good getting players in, younger players in.
Good youth system.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about probably the goal that ignited your career when you played Liverpool. You scored 2 goals, and you scored that overhead kick. Dude, home to Liverpool, wasn't it?
It was the first televised live game at Southampton.
Oh, really?
It was a Friday night, and Liverpool was a fantastic team. They always seemed to beat us, really.
Well, they were on fire at the time, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking
the early 80s.
Yeah,
early 80s. Yeah. They were on fire. The goal, what can I remember about the goal? I can remember first half, Mark Wright getting the ball in midfield, who played it to Frank Worthington. Frank was an excellent player. He always used to hold the ball up and spray his passes There's one time when he sprayed it to Mark Dennis, who controlled it and ran up the wing. It took him 2 attempts to cross the ball, and by that time, Mark Wright has still been following the ball. Mark Dennis crossed the ball, Wright headed it out the back post, and I was just hovering around, see if I could get any balls or whatever. I saw the ball go up in the air, and I thought, oh, this is perfect for us. So I just turned me back round, looked at the ball, and I just connected really, really well.
Hit it so smooth.
Yeah, connected really well.
Because I've seen some overhead kicks where they scuff them.
Yeah.
You know, even, dare I say, Rooney's one in the derby against City, he actually hit his shin. But your one was actually a true
flush,
connection.
Right, yeah. And as the ball was going in, I was looking at Bruce Grobbelaar. He had no chance. He had no chance. And I just watched the ball go in.
Yeah.
And just ran off and celebrated.
I'd like to do a poll, Dan. I'd like to do a poll where we look at some of the more modern day overhead kicks. You got Garnaccio's one versus Everton recently this season.
Yeah.
You've got Cristiano Ronaldo's one in the Champions League final against Juve.
Yeah.
I mean, he got some height on that one. You got bring back the 80s.
Yeah.
Goal.
I think
not a lot gets done. Not a lot gets seen prior to the Premier League now. The Premier League is such a huge brand.
Nothing at all.
It's like football never existed before that.
No. I scored a few goals, and I wouldn't say, but I think I've scored better goals than that overhead kick.
Oh, really?
For Southampton.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And it would be nice to just have a look and see, how they came out.
Yeah. So we move forward, Dan. You then have obviously played for Southampton. You've established yourself as a first team player. You even got a England cap.
Yes.
While you were at Southampton as well. And then you got your big move to Manchester United. What was the build up to that? How did that pan out?
Well, I had been at Southampton for 9+ years, and I've done enough. Done all I can for Southampton. Got to 2 semi-finals that unfortunately we lost. Come second in the league, which we should have won.
Yeah. And
then I thought, all these young boys are coming through now. Rodney Raymond, Alan Shearer, Matt Letizia and all them. So I just realised it was time for me to move on a little.
Yeah.
And Man United came in. And you don't turn down Man United,
No.
I went there. Me and Jem went there. Spoke to Alex Ferguson and had a good chat with him.
What was your first impressions of Sir Alex?
Broad Scottish geezer. His accent was really, really broad,
Yeah, Govan.
Yeah, but he was a nice man. But we didn't sign straight away, to the truth. We went back to Southampton and obviously thought about it and that. But I knew I was going to sign for him. And then came back on Saturday. We were playing Millwall, and I signed there and then.
Did you sign similar sort of time to when Paul Ince?
Paul Ince, Gary Pallister, Noel Webb. He was bringing in all the players.
Yeah.
And
that was a start.
That was the start of Sir Alex's good run.
Yeah. So Dan, tell me what was it like being at Man U? Big club in comparison to Southampton. What was it like being there? Because there were some big names at the club.
Yeah, obviously a lot bigger than Southampton. I knew that, I'd have to be on my game if I was going to make it there. I wasn't bothered about anyone else at that time.
You weren't intimidated?
No, none of them. You know what I mean? Because I knew how I played.
Yeah.
And United is such a big club. Didn't want to disappoint me. Didn't want to disappoint the team, the club. But it was.
Did you feel any added pressure with the fact that you were a record signing at the time?
No, that didn't bother me at all.
Mm.
I knew that.
You weren't paying for it, so.
Yeah, exactly. But I knew my worth. I knew that I was in a team where I could progress my my career, like, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, there were some big players in that team. You know, Brian Robson, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Neil Webb.
Yeah, Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, obviously really Robbins.
Yeah,
he's doing great things with Coventry at the moment.
He's doing absolutely brilliant. There was some fantastic players, and you know, everything was good there.
And what was your relationship with Sir Alex like?
There wasn't anything bad that's happened. Like, you know, it was quite good. Didn't really talk to him a lot. Just a little bit of banter and all that. Usually, like, you know what I mean. But there was a time when I was struggling at Main Road, playing Man City in a reserve game, and at that time I was really frustrated in the way where, because I haven't been playing any first team games, and at that time I was struggling. Remembering coming into the change room and absolutely slaughtering me. I told him to fuck off, like, you know? And I think that was the time when I knew that, you know, it was time to go there as well.
Yeah. But prior to that, you've obviously got an FA Cup winners medal to show for it.
Yes.
That was a wicked day, wasn't it?
It's fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thanks for the tickets, by the way.
No problem, mate. So I've always, since I was growing up, like, I've always watched the FA Cup finals and wanted to be able to you know, walk up them stairs and collect a medal or whatever, like, you know what I mean? It's all, every young footballer's dream to do that, like, you know? Yeah. And when we got to the final against Crystal Palace, it was so... This is what I worked for, so I knew that, you know, we had to win this game, like, you know. And the game was such a fantastic game, and we all enjoyed it.
At the old Wembley.
At the old Wembley,
Took 2 games.
Two games, yeah. We drew 3-3 at the first one.
Yeah.
Tiring, really hot day it was. And the replay.
Righty.
No. Oh, God, I've missed that.
Oh, who scored?
He scored, yeah. Oh,
What's
God.
his name? Lee Martin.
I should remember that. Yeah, Lee Martin scored the winner in the replay. So,
do you know that game was an all British game in terms of the players? Every player was English.
Really?
Apart from Brian McClare,
Scottish,
who was Scottish,
yeah.
Mark Hughes and Clayton Blackmore, who were Welsh.
Yeah.
Everyone else was English. The whole of the Palace side, all English. You compare that to today.
There's no way that would happen. There was no way that would happen. Yeah.
That's what 34 years does for you.
To get it, has it been that long?
Yeah.
To get that medal, though,
yeah,
was my ambition, and I don't think I worried about anything else after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to get something out of playing football.
Yeah. I want to start talking now, Dan, about sort of more present sort of time and a subject matter that obviously we want to have a little discussion about it. And obviously that's about your condition today that you're suffering from.
Yeah.
Multiple sclerosis, or MS for short. For those that are not familiar with it, could you give us a little bit of an explanation of what it is?
Yeah. MS, multiple sclerosis, is a nerve disease. There's a couple of types of the condition. My diagnosis was spinal MS, which attacks the myelin in my back. And the symptoms are bad vision, mobility, aching arms and legs. It was just...
Is this an autoimmune?
It says, immune system,
Yeah, it attacks it. So it's basically the body attacking itself effectively into in there. the casing around the nerves as
That's right,
I read up on it. Yeah. So when were you actually diagnosed with this then? Was this while you were playing or after you were playing?
Well, I was diagnosed in 97,
Right.
but I think I had it years before that because during playing, I had a lot of injuries, niggly injuries that would only last a couple of weeks, like hamstrings or calf muscles, but I was getting too frequently.
And that was during your time at Man U, wasn't it? Because I noticed
Man U, yeah.
Because I think it was the first couple of years you were in the team.
Yeah, fine.
And it was like the last 2 years.
The last couple of years,
injuries.
Just non-stop injuries.
And they're always groin, calf, hamstring.
Yeah, sometimes my back was stiffen up, like, you know.
It's all connected, isn't it?
But yeah, I think it was.
I remember reading in your book that you had an away game in Moscow.
Yeah.
And you were walking, I think you was at the airport, and Brian Kidd was behind you.
Behind me.
And he said to you, you know, are you injured? Look like you're limping.
Yeah.
Did you think even possibly then the first signs
I think that might have been.
I
think that might have been because he can remember him coming up to me and said, like, "Why are you kicking your leg out like that?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm not," because I didn't even know I was doing it. But for him watching me from behind, I was kicking out my leg. I think from there it must have started.
Body's all connected, and especially with the spine. You know, if you think about the spine and you think about the nerves and the injuries that you were getting, they were all lower body, which seems to indicate if you look at the spine, it'll be the lower vertebrae where that issue is the source of the problem.
Yeah.
So, but I would imagine back then the tests that they would be doing then wouldn't be as vigorous as they were today to pick up on things like that.
No, I don't know, because I can remember having like a lumbar puncture in my back and an MRI scan. And that's the way they found out about it.
Yeah. And that was after you finished playing?
That was 97, yeah.
Yeah.
It was 97.
Because then you weren't getting into the Man U team. Obviously, you're having a lot of injuries. So then you got the sort of resurgence. People like
bad form, injuries. That would happen. Like, you're playing a game, and then you do your hamstring. You come back a couple of weeks.
How did that feel at the time, Dan? Because I know I've
so frustrating,
and my injuries would be nothing in comparison to what you went through, and it used to really get me down.
Frustrating, mate. Really, really frustrating. You know, playing a game, lasting for 15, 20 minutes, coming off, being on that treatment table like for a couple of weeks. It's a nightmare.
And you're seeing everyone else play, and you're seeing the team get success.
But then you come back 3 or 4 games later, it happens again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like a vicious cycle.
Because it's not just the matches, is it? You've got to do the training to get yourself fit again.
Yeah.
And your body's not.
Then you're playing reserves, and you know that can mess you up as well. Like, you know. So I think the last couple of years, I definitely wasn't giving my 100%. Like, you know, I was.
Well, it wasn't you not giving 100%.
No,
your body not responding to what you wanted to do.
Couldn't do it, mate.
Because you went to Birmingham after.
Birmingham was ridiculous. It was, I think I played 12, 15 games or something like that. In about 18 months, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, obviously, they let me go as well. I think I went to Wickham.
Yeah.
I think I went to Wickham for 3 months or something like that, and played 1 game there. And this seemed like my body wasn't doing it anymore.
Yeah. And Millwall as well? You were there?
Millwall for a little bit while I was at United.
Yeah.
I went in there for 3 months. Played a couple of games down there.
It was the same thing again?
Same thing.
Yeah.
I was struggling, but I didn't know that I was struggling. I just thought it was the everyday, normal professional footballer's injuries, like, you know. And
so it's fair to say that's probably robbed you of the peak of your career. If you look at
definitely.
If you look at when your injuries started, what age would you say your injuries like that started at Man U?
Say 27.
Which is your peak years
Yeah,
as a professional.
Yeah.
You're really coming into it then.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned in your book as well that when you were at Millwall, Mick McCarthy was manager,
Mick McCarthy. Yeah.
but he was quite sympathetic with you.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time on the treatment table there again. Yeah.
As well as Birmingham as well.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating, mate.
Yeah. But it must have been. I mean, if you're trying to play, your mind's telling you, your heart and soul's telling you you want to play, but your body's not responding to what you actually want.
Yeah, you don't want to run so fast, like you're gonna pull up again. Like,
Yeah.
you know? So that's why you don't give the 100%.
Yeah.
Then your form goes, and it's not good, mate.
And I know sort of later on when you stopped playing, you fell into some sort of depression and you started drinking a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you feeling back then, Dan? What was going through your mind?
I don't know, mate. I wasn't thinking at all.
No.
It was hard. I was diagnosed, and I thought, yeah, okay. I was playing football, and I think this disease has caused me to, finish playing football. A couple of weeks later, I think I went into a really, really dark depression, which wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for Jen.
No, I was going to say
the kids as well. The kids,
your relationship with Jen and the kids.
Although they was only young, so it affected them a hell of a lot. But it was Jen that got me out of it anyway.
Yeah, well, Jen's been your rock throughout your whole life, though, isn't she?
Yeah, she has. Been 45 years now, mate.
Wow.
That we've been seeing each other.
To that, Dan?
Loads of fights. They're making up. But yeah.
I can remember
she's definitely a rock.
When you mentioned the time where you were going through that bout of depression, because I can remember when we were coming up still to visit. We used to go out, and I remember that period where you weren't coming out. You didn't want anyone coming around the house. No. You kind of just locked yourself away. Yeah.
Struggled.
That was your coping mechanism.
Yeah. I went out a few times, but it was getting worse. It was getting worse at that time, Starting to walk. My walking was, my balance wasn't very good, so.
Yeah.
There's a few times I fell over. But as I said before, Jen and the kids helped me out of it. And
yeah.
It was all good.
Did you get much support at that time? I mean, you got obviously
I didn't want any.
Didn't want any?
No,
I
didn't want any. I just wanted to do my own thing and not worry about anything.
Yeah. And how are you with it all today, Dan? Because obviously at that time it would have been hard to accept it. Not just hard to accept what you've been diagnosed with, but for any footballer, and I know loads of them.
Yeah.
When your career finishes, you go from that high to basically zero.
Yeah.
And it's hard to take. There's lots of stats showing, players that go into depression. There's high rates of divorce after they finish their careers.
Yeah, I know they feel, mate, because it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard, being able to, to do the 100 meters in just over 11 seconds,
You were a whippet back then.
So, to be able, not to be able to run or live my life properly, it was difficult, man.
Yeah. Do you think you would have been able to cope if it wasn't for Jen?
Don't know if I'd be here, mate, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'd be here. She's been our rock, my rock anyway, so.
Yeah. Because you've known each other since the kids.
The kids, mate.
She's not a very good cook though, Dan.
I think you used to love her breakfasts, Pete. You used to love her breakfasts, mate. Nah, she's different class.
Yeah. And how's your relationship with you with the kids? Because I was imagining at that time it would have been a difficult.
Yeah. Especially
your relationship with the kids,
especially for my youngest one, Tyler. He was growing up while I was just about finished the game, and he didn't really see anything. Didn't really know who I was or whatever,
Yeah.
Alicia and Remy, they obviously grew up with it. So
yeah.
But the kids are brilliant. They look after me.
Did you get much support from any friends in football? Did you let anyone in, or were you just blocking everyone out at that time?
At that time, yeah, I wasn't. I don't think I can't remember seeing anybody.
Yeah.
At that time, apart from you lot.
Yeah.
Come up a few times, like, you know what I mean.
But once it all came out and you accepted it,
yeah,
and you progressed and got better,
yeah,
you must have got some good support from a lot of people in the game, people that you played with.
I won't say no. I wouldn't say there was the players out there that, you know, that would ring me up and you know, asking me to go out or whatever, like, you know, because you know, with footballers, they're only acquaintances, like, you know, they're not really your friends. But it would have been really nice for someone to give a ring. And I never really had it. Never really had it for anyone. It's a bit crazy.
It's a bit sad as well, to be honest, because you know, I've been there in the dressing room. I've still got a lot of friends from football.
Yeah,
and there's that dressing room bond you get with certain people that is solid.
Yeah,
it just doesn't go.
Yeah, the thing with that, like, is that I suppose it's my fault anyway, because I kept myself away from people, like, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see anybody, so
it's understandable.
It's my fault, I suppose.
Any relationship works both ways at the end of the day, but it's understandable what you were going through, that you would, you know, become, dare I say, a bit of a recluse.
Yeah, I was at a dark place, mate.
And people don't really know how to respond or how to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure if we went around and spoke to people that you played with, and they'd all have good things to say about you. Because there's one thing I know, when you look at lifestyle and behaviour of footballers over the years, one thing with you is that you were never in trouble. People have always said good things about you.
Yeah, I can't remember being in trouble, to the truth. I can't remember having the police come to my house or anything.
No.
Well, I think my parents taught me that. Don't bring no policemen to my house. They always said that.
That's the Jamaica.
And
that's the Jamaican talking there.
The old man, you know, put it into my brain.
Nobody bring police to my yard.
Nobody. So.
That must have been ingrained in them when I had that same speech. That same speech.
I'm not surprised, mate. We all had it.
I look back on your career, Dan, and obviously we've gone over why we think all these injuries have occurred. What do you think you could have achieved? Because I look at the trajectory of your career at that time, and you were on the up.
Yeah.
Everything you were doing, starting at 16, got your debut, playing consistently for Southampton, you're challenging for the league, you're getting fantastic goals, you get your big move, you win the FA Cup. Everything is on a trajectory going upwards, and then the injuries start.
Yeah.
What do you think you could have achieved as a player? How high do you think you could have gone?
I won't say I would have played more England games. I won't say that.
Who were you up against at the time in your position?
Lee Sharp, and I think Ryan Giggs came a little bit later. Andre Conchelsky,
yeah,
he came. So there's about 3 or 4 wingers that were there that you know, was fighting for one place, 2 places. But
if not, you could have gone elsewhere and did a job. I think you're being humble here, Dan.
Well, I think Chelsea came in for me around 87 before I signed my new contract for Southampton.
Yeah.
I think I should have had a Premier League medal. If I was fit enough, I would have got that.
Yeah.
I would have got at least 3.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe Europe. Maybe win a European Cup.
Your goal, your game, should I say? You're a winger. You were fast. You beat players. You got crosses in, but also you scored your fair share of goals.
Yeah,
which is a different type of winger today. You look at the wide players today.
Yeah.
Not many of them getting past fullbacks, getting in crosses.
No. That was my favourite bit of my play.
Yeah.
I always liked assisting goals. I made a lot of goals as well as scoring a few. I don't know how much I think I scored. But Southampton had 79 goals. Southampton, I think it was.
Yeah.
That's all the games. 300 all the games. It's not. I don't think it's a bad return. To tell the truth.
Pretty decent.
Mm.
And to think with all the injuries that you had, you could have had a lot more games and you could have had a lot more goals.
At least another 200.
Yeah.
250 games must be.
If you look at the ages that players retire now, it's well into their 30s.
Yeah.
The nutrition is so much better. People are looking after themselves.
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
you get a much more extensive
If we
playing career.
Look at Ronaldo. He's
the extreme.
Yeah.
He's the extreme.
Was he 38, 40?
Yeah.
Something come out?
I don't think there's anyone like Ronaldo.
No.
If you could do it all again, Dan, would you do anything different?
I don't think I would. No. I'm happy with my career.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I've done. Done the things that I wanted to do. Obviously, played for England. Played one game, scored one goal.
Mm.
So that's something I want to do. Won a few trophies. Something I wanted to do.
Mm.
Played at Wembley a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
you scored on your England debut.
Scored on my England debut.
Yeah.
And that's everything I dreamt about. So no, P, I don't think I would change anything.
Who would you say is one of the best players that you played with, Dan?
One of the best players.
Or should I say the best player that you played with?
Right. I would say, right, because this geezer used to pass me all these balls, long passes as well. It's so funny as well, like Jimmy Case.
Mm.
Jimmy Case was one of the best passers ever.
Yeah.
And he always knew when I was going to run, when I was on my way.
Yeah.
So he would just get the ball and see me,
and
he would just go like,
yeah,
with his
a good understanding with it.
Great understanding. And
he was a tough player.
He was. Oh, I tell you, he was a Chopper Harris, mate.
Yeah,
he was like Chopper Harris, but
I remember playing him in a reserve game.
And, he's tough.
He took a few people out that day.
Did he?
Yeah.
He didn't mess about, mate. But Casey was a lovely fella, and he's a lovely fella.
Who would you say is the best player you played against?
I would say Paul Parker, because we were small and we both were very quick, and we used to have some really, really good battles.
Yeah.
When he was playing for Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah.
And
then you both end up at Man U.
And we both end up at Man U.
The training sessions must have been good.
Fiery, yeah. No. Paul's a good mate of mine, and he's. I haven't seen him for a long time, but yeah, he was on my level.
Yeah. Well, I just want to finish off, Dan, talking about two things. First of all, let's talk about the 80s tash that we all sported.
Yeah, I can remember that.
Listen, if it's good enough for Tom Selleck, it's good enough for me, mate.
And
Magnum
the afro.
can pull it off.
And the afro, mate.
Yeah. The afro, yeah. Yeah, we've all had one of those.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, I want to finish with really a mention, someone that you've already mentioned before, who's been your rock, is Jenny, because been by your side since you've been kids. I'm sure you've gone through ups and downs like any marriage would. And here she is still with you today. How many years you say you've been together now?
46 coming up.
46. Wow.
46 years coming up. Been married.
Don't get it wrong, Dan.
30.
Don't get it wrong, Dan. Marriage could end.
32 years or something like that.
Yeah.
If you've been married or that. But yeah, Jen's...
What would you say to Jen now? The platform is yours. You look at everything that's got you gone through in your life, Jen being with you. What would you say to her right now?
I love her. She looks after me. She didn't have to do it. You know, we've been together so long, been through everything, and she's, for someone that don't like football, she's stuck by me. She hates football, but she's stuck by me, and even now we have our little arguments. But I can't fault the girl. She's coming. Well, she's been with me so long. All I can say that, you know, thank you very much, and I do love her with all my heart. And thank you.
I am.
Nah.
No, that's lovely to hear,
Fantastic.
Dan. Well, listen, Dan, I really appreciate you coming in to do this today. As I said to you, I don't think there's a more fitting person that I could have done the first podcast with. I think yours is a story that needed to be told. I think it's a story that needs to be heard. It's interesting. It's emotional. I think it's inspiring. It's sad. But to listen to you here today, talking the way you are, talking about your career and how you wouldn't change anything. And I look back on all the times when you used to get us tickets, we used to come and watch you play, and you never asked for anything in return. And I'd just like to say personally, thank you for all of those times. We didn't say it at the time.
Yeah.
You know, we should have been saying it.
Oh, you're
But
welcome.
it was, we came and supported you. We followed you just basically out of love. You know, you was the guy that started it all off for a lot of us young players. So I think it's befitting that you be the first person on this podcast for us today.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you coming in, Dan. I know it's
A bit nervous, but
yeah, the nerves go.
right. Yeah, they do. Yeah,
We should have had a couple of drinks before it. But no, I appreciate that, Dan. So thank you for coming on, and I wish you all the best.
Nice one.